If your dog follows you in the bathroom, you probably laugh, push them out, or call a cute obsession. But what if that behavior is not about clinginess at all? What if it's actually something deeper, something instinctive, something your dog cannot explain in words, but is desperately trying to express through behavior? Because here's the truth most owners never consider. Your dog doesn't see privacy the way you do. To you, the bathroom is a private space. To your dog, it's a place where you disappear. And disappearing in the dog world is never neutral. Now, before you brush this off, stay with this for a moment, because what you're about to understand will completely change how you interpret your dog's behavior. Why do they follow you? Is it love? Is it attachment? Or is it something more primal, like survival instinct? Here's where it gets interesting. Dogs are biologically wired as pack animals. In the wild, separation from the pack isn't just emotional, it's dangerous. A moment of isolation could mean loss of safety, protection, or direction. So when you close the door and they hear you inside but cannot see you, their brain doesn't interpret it as privacy. It interprets it as loss of pack member. That's why your dog doesn't just wait outside peacefully. They check, they follow, they insist on presence. But here's the twist most people miss. Not all dogs do this for the same reason. And this is where the story takes a deeper turn. Because sometimes it's not just instinct. Sometimes it's anxiety. Separation anxiety doesn't always look dramatic. It doesn't always mean crying or destroying furniture. Sometimes it looks like quiet following, silent observation, always needing to know where you are. And the bathroom becomes the perfect test point. You disappear behind a door. You stop responding. You're physically close, but visually gone. And your dog's brain flags that as uncertainty. But here's something even more surprising. There's also a third reason, and this one is emotional. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to routine. To them, your movements are a language. When you stand up, they anticipate action. When you walk, they follow the pattern. When you go to the bathroom, it becomes part of the daily ritual. And rituals in a dog's mind are not random. They're safety maps. So your dog is not just following you. They are tracking the pattern of their world. But wait, there's something deeper still. Because if your dog only follows you into the bathroom, but is calm when you leave the house, or relaxed when you're in another room, then something very specific is happening. They don't fear separation. They fear interruption of connection. Yes, there's a difference. And this is where most owners misunderstand everything. Now let's break it down psychologically. Dogs don't think in sentences. They think in associations. You equals safety. You leaving equals uncertainty. Door closing equals unknown outcome. So when you disappear behind a bathroom door, your dog's mind runs a very simple internal check. Are we okay? Is my human still there? Did something change? And that uncertainty, even if it lasts only a few seconds, is enough to trigger following behavior. But here's the part that might surprise you the most. Sometimes your dog follows you not because they fear losing you, but because they don't want to miss anything important. In their mind, you are the center of activity. If something is happening, they want to be part of it. Even brushing your teeth, even washing your hands, even sitting quietly on a toilet. To you, it's boring routine. To them, it's pack activity. And now, here comes a question that most owners never ask themselves. What if your dog isn't attached to the bathroom, but attached to you in every state? Because think about it. Your dog doesn't care if you're productive or idle, successful or tired, dressed or not dressed. They don't judge the version of you. They just want access to your presence. And that's where the emotional truth hits harder than expected. But before you form the wrong conclusion, there's another layer you need to hear. Because not every dog following behavior is healthy attachment. Sometimes it becomes dependency. And dependency is where love starts turning into anxiety. If your dog panics when the door closes, if they scratch, whine, or become distressed even for short separations, that's no longer just curiosity or bonding. That's emotional over-reliance. And here's the silent warning most people ignore. Dogs don't grow out of that on their own. It usually strengthens over time if not addressed gently. But don't misread this as something scary. Because most bathroom-following dogs are not anxious. They're simply connected. And now, let's pause on something important. Have you ever noticed what your dog does after you come out of the bathroom? That reaction tells you everything. If they are calm and relaxed, it's likely just curiosity and bonding. But if they show intense relief, tail wagging, clinginess, immediate shadowing, that tells a deeper emotional story. Because now it's not just, I like you nearby. It becomes, I need to confirm you are still here. And that small difference changes everything about how you understand your dog. But here's the most beautiful part of all this. Even if the reason is instinct, curiosity, or mild anxiety, the core message is still the same. You're their reference point, their stability, their safe place in a world they cannot fully understand. And when you disappear behind a door, even for a moment, their instinct doesn't ask, where did you go? It asks, are you still with me? Now, if this is changing how you see your dog, even slightly, notice what's happening in your mind right now. You're no longer seeing annoying behavior. You're seeing communication. And that shift, that interpretation, is exactly how the bond between humans and dogs deepens. But here's one final thought you probably won't forget. Your dog doesn't follow you into the bathroom because they don't trust you. They follow you because you're their trust. And when that trust moves out of sight, they simply want to make sure it never truly disappears. Because in their world, you're not just the owner. You're the whole map. And your dog isn't just behaving. They're communicating.